Like, even this event, if this event didn't happen with Creeper's narration, technically we still could have gone, like, how many other years until it happened, or until something else happened. But situations like a giant dragon coming to Earth and blowing up half of Earth, that would have been needed to be clarified. Ken suddenly found the answer to why he can't age. That would have been needed to be clarified. Axis and Bree did a fusion. That would have needed to be clarified.
We'll talk about the exact split when we're grounded, okay?
Frickin' what's her name? Whisper dying because of Surge. That would have been needed to get clarified. There's certain things. And just popping them in because you have the idea isn't the right way of going through it. Yes, we can have a fun with it. Yes, we can do anything our minds set out to do. But we cannot just put stuff into a story for no apparent reason at all. Which is one of the fights that Creeper did, still left me with a bad taste in my mouth after hearing it. The girl that created stuff. Just seeing Peter Piper... I'm sorry, I forgot how to say that thing. But word slaying is not word slaying. Distracting an opponent like that, I would be more distracted by a black hole than somebody rapidly saying something. If people would have actually done this, Vara messes with her head as she's trying to create something, would have been a better situation because Vara is meant, yeah, but not like just, not like saying the word, but I mean mentally influencing her head. Through her telepathic.
Vara can't really do, like, she can, like, she can't really do that. She can control you, but if it's strong people like that, Vara can't really mentally overcome you like that.
Yeah, because
you know, like, again, speak to you through your mind, and the thing is that,
yeah, that's what I meant.
like,
speak to you through your mind.
That's what she did, though.
Yeah.
But, like, rapidly saying stuff to that character, that is the way to beat her, because creation is an OP power, and her creation was especially overpowered, and literally, the nerve to
I know
her
what
power,
you were trying to say. I know what you're trying to say.
Finish, though, like, actually.
That's fine.
Like, seriously. Like, literally, her power is creation, and she can make virtually anything she can. And literally, in order to do that, she needs absolute concentration. More than Vara does when Vara does her telekinesis. I mean, like, full concentration. So them screaming those words, it wasn't distracting her. It was literally preventing her from using her creation power. Because she needed to concentrate in order to do it. You can't have words being yelled at you multiple times and still expect to do that.
Yeah, I get you, Creeper, but I'm not telling you what I was about to say. Yes, that is the perfect way to beat a character like that. Because you gotta think when it comes to creation, otherwise something you make will end up falling apart. But again, a black hole is more serious than somebody saying wordplay. Because
our characters wouldn't have been able to make a black hole.
Unfortunately, Jackson's character did.
No, he didn't. That was actually the creation character that did.
No, somebody made a miniature black hole.
No, we were compressing. We were compressing the black hole with negative energy.
No. Trust me. Brandon, you can actually remember this. Somebody did create a black hole, and for sure it was Jackson.
It was Victor.
Oh,
Isn't that a negative pull, Brandon? Or negative, like,
They use darkness energy to make it.
Guy in the boat is Oscar Gus.
so it wasn't
Yes.
an actual black hole though.
Yeah.
Like, it didn't
It's-
use, like, space
We might be able to buy
collapsing or
Oscar's thing,
anything.
but leave that to me, Ron.
It's basically similar to frickin' Blackbeard's ultimate.
I actually don't think it was you this time, Ben.
Oh, he pays. Better than any in this
I feel like it was actually Jackson who said it, but I don't know. If you feel like it was you, I'll just go along with it.
Okay?
But I knew one of you made a black hole, and your character completely collapsed it and made her black hole 12 times bigger than whoever's black hole.
No, she made the black hole bigger herself. You're getting confused.
No, did she?
She did, I remember.
Well then, yeah, so... I'm not just saying that black hole, I'm not saying a black hole in general would be the only thing that gets her off. I mean, just like... If Vara would have done this, had someone boost her I hate that word, telepathic abilities, and then use everybody's mind at once and send it to her thoughts. Either that would have been a great idea, Vara messing with her internally, I mean not internally, telepathically would have been fun, but characters just saying those things, even if the character was just distracted easily or whatever, it still wouldn't be that easy.
It wasn't easy, it was actually a beatdown for our characters.
I know. I watched. They took the beat down, but the ending was slightly overrated.
My impotent rage statue.
And I'm not saying that you have to do the fight over, I'm just saying just that ending.
I'm not gonna do the fight over. That's how the
I
fight
know.
went.
No price for emotion. I mean, you might forego your
I honestly just say it like this. If you guys really need help ending a fight or something, I know how to do multiple endings for a fight, especially when it comes to different characters. Like Dragneel and that Muriel character that you had with the perma abilities. Bullshit. Endless bullshit. Full on bullshit.
managerial innovation.
Brandon actually could have done that fight. Because even though it's perma abilities, their life signs is still there. Which means...
No, though, I
what
wasn't
if
gonna
his-
have you guys beat her. I was gonna have her survive.
Yeah, I know. It seems like you really wanted that character to get away. But Brandon...
Because
with
she's
that-
actually a character in my series. She won't die like that.
Yeah. Like, Brandon, with perma abilities, it may stop them from being touched by you, but as your Von Drozens have the power to mess with their bone blood,
They also
you
have
can still assault that
psychokinesis
character
and
if you have the right timing.
paralysis.
And I don't mean, like, go like, oh, Creeper's character attacks Dragneel, and then you'd be like, instant, I use my powers to, no. I mean, after a bit of time, after, like, the character attacks, like, I don't know, 10, 15 times, because it seemed like Creeper was definitely not going for kills at that moment, then you could say Victor, Gabrielle, or whatever, I forgot the last one's name, use their powers to bend his bone or something like that. Because that would have been much more sensible than Dragneel being like, oh, my character just happens to have the right timing and physically hit something that I can't physically touch. Like, I got you, Brandon. Don't worry about it. And this, also, Brandon, one more thing. You've still been out of the loop here. The fight against that giant, I know Jackson was pulling a lot of the strings here, but remember what I told you. Your characters can still support or help. You can fight. I'm not telling you you can't. You gotta be willing to, like, different yourself. Use your characters in ways that you didn't know that they could do. As I said, Gabrielle or any of the Von Drosens with their blood manipulation, they can give you adrenaline. So you can move faster, you can feel less pain, but once that adrenaline wears out, that will be your ass. Well, the character that they're using was on ass.
I was doing that to Trevor and it didn't do much, so.
That's because Jackson had a bad way of reaching the opponent. But at the end of the day, you still pulled off the one thing that could beat him, which was sealing him away. Like, if you ever need fight advice, Brandon, I can help you. I use these powers on a daily basis, as well as edit and structure them to be different. I literally have all the elements as a character's. If you really want to know how I use Darkness and her abilities for, like, your characters, the Von Drosens, you can ask. I would not be, like, too busy to help you. Creeper has Morgan, who is type... It's kind of a Darkness type, but more gas than Darkness. She can help you. Jackson can help you, but aware with Jackson. Just feel it. That's all I gotta say.
You're damn right. Chang, spreadsheet. Let's head outside and talk terms.
Like, we're all friends here. We're not trying to slow each other down. We're not trying to push things. I'm only trying to push things in the roleplay now because typically I am bored because I haven't been involved. And Creeper wants to invite Team Mamba now, so I still gotta wait for a moment. Because I feel like just half-assing it and then getting back to it is a little dumb for me. But, yeah. Oh, and Brandon, one more thing. I know you want to have... I mean, I know Creeper and them want you to have more people. I mean, people from Team Mamba to come in, but only invite one character. You already have too many. I'm pretty sure you accidentally forgot the Atlanteans.
You're fucking sorry? I just spilled my...
Because they haven't shown up for a while. Unless you, like Natalie and Jackson said, just had them sit the fight out.
Mhm.
Yeah. So if you had that, then never mind. But having too many characters all at once is actually the kill shot of your roleplay. Because you have too many to deal with at once, you don't have time to think. You're running on...
I'm not even gonna involve Sarah and Snow anymore, so don't worry about that.
No, you can involve them, bro. Like, they're how old now? 12 years older?
No,
Sure
they're like... Snow is 28 and Sarah is like 23.
Oh. Yeah, they can handle their own fight. Especially if Yuki's training. The only thing is, that I gotta say is, Yuki might have trained them in way more than just their powers. Because Ryuki is a bounty hunter who uses guns and everything, think about it like this, Brandon. Because Snow and Sarah, have been trained by Ryuki, they now have the abilities to use guns, bombs, their powers, Dolores' teachings.
The thing is, though, with Sarah, she not only has Ryuki's powers, which is basically Ares, But she also has like the Valhelian traits as well. With the she was basically born like one of the elite soldiers. And like I said before, the elite Valhelians are strong enough to become just as strong, if not stronger, than the Greek gods. And seeing how she's a demigod, who already has the power of Ares and can control the element of fire, and also has supernatural strength, as well as basically some of Hercules' traits, since I had her training with him. She could become even stronger than her dad, potentially.
I would say keep some of that hidden for now, Brandon. Like the Valhelian trait, more or less. Because that, right now, people would have to create a character that can handle that if you attempt to pull it. So you should keep that a secret for now. I mean, I know Creeper just listened to you, but like, I mean, keep the trait a secret in the roleplay. So that you can't just say, oh, she instantly has it, and then uses it when the fight gets tough. You can use it to catch the opponent off guard, meaning you have a second wind, like a transformation, and then fight on. But like, as I said, you have a lot of traits that you can use for your character. Valhelian, Bloodline, Ryuki's Bloodline, and Ryuki's weapons. No Ryuki's weapons, No's training. You have a lot that you can use. So don't just think, oh, Snow has ice powers in the necessary. Snow can have whatever the frick she wants from Ryuki's side. But the only thing is she cannot spawn weapons, of course.
Now, Snow is also a Vulpix, and like Creeper has been saying, they're a warrior race. So she will be like drawn to fights and will get like stronger and more agile.
I mean, that works too. Like Brandon, again, a fight is not just a fight. A fight is only when you need to fight, but at the same time, when you do fight, you don't think about winning. You think about everything your character can do and accomplish. Even if you lose the fight, it doesn't matter. Like, Ken has lost multiple fights, Sammy has lost multiple fights. Like, there have been times even when Ken couldn't save the planet, so somebody else had to. There's no purpose of winning a fight just to win. Even if you fight Hera, and Hera said, if you kill me, I got an army, there's no reason to kill her in general, because, number one, Reaper is not going to allow you to kill Hera. Number two, Hera needs a lesson learned here. And just killing her off is like saying she basically got away with everything she did. And then died for it. There was no lesson learned, there was no time for her to think about what she's done. She just died.
Why do you think I'm just trying to lock her up instead of just killing her?
I know you're trying to, but I'm aiming that mostly at Jazz. Who is not here, I know, but it is Jackson who's going to try to pull that card. If Creeper kills her character off, that's Creeper. And I know Creeper definitely has a plan. Because Creeper's not just dumb to just kill. Unless she has a plan to. Personally, for me, I know I tried to kill whoever Creeper was when they were on the ground in the catacombs. But that was because I was thinking, oh, Hera's not the type to just let somebody talk about a lot. Only because I didn't know the storyline. So I thought, oh, traitor, you're gonna kill her. That. And as you see, I was heavily stopped before I could do that.
How about a merger, you prick?
So Brandon, when Jackson and Creeper take the front line and stuff like that, don't feel afraid to just jump in. Just don't make those long explanations in which are like Ryuki does a sidekick, uppercut, pile driver, sledgehammer, pulls you in the sky, shoots you in the face, all that other. Like, don't pull that. Never pull that in a fight. Too many actions in one. Unless the character can move as fast as the speed of light and the character fighting against them can't, then you can do that. But if it's like Sammy versus Ryuki, Sammy has the speed advantage. Most definitely. So you're definitely not going to pull that on Sammy. But Oshi, however, you can pull that on Oshi. I know. See you, Creeper.
Alright, see you later.
Anyway, Brandon, you can pull that on Oshi, except Oshi's power is to one-shot you. Especially firing it off. So, you being close up to Oshi means that you will die. And then, if you do it to, like, one of my human characters, then you would actually just get that off, because there's nothing that they can stop it. I mean, do to stop it.
You want to see competition in the marketplace?
And Brandon, one more thing. As I said, there's a hidden anger in you. Like, I know you know it, man. It's easy to get that hidden anger out of you. And the better that you accept it, the better that you just know it to be whatever at that point.
How about a merger, you prick?
You need to accept when we're trying to help you, we're trying to help you. Like I said, we can try to discuss this, we can try to talk about the whole Hercules situation later. Like, we could postpone that situation, but you went so far to try to keep it in and keep going.
Because I already have plans for it, but don't worry about it, it's not a thing.
Like, that's the point. That's right there, Brandon. Right there, what you just did. That is what I'm talking about. Like, it's okay to be mad, but this is just a roleplay thing. Like, again...
Then why did you try to make a big deal out of it anyways? It's not canon anyways. You're not going to put it in your anime or anything.
It wouldn't have made sense, Brandon. Even if Creeper was role-playing it, it really, really, really wouldn't have made sense. And again, if it doesn't make sense, it will become a problem later. Because Creeper herself forgot half of the things she wrote. And, as again, this is 12 years ahead of Veronica's timeline. Which, in Creeper's also noticeable factor, she had to somewhat agree with me that since this is Veronica's dimension timeline and Ryuki's heritage, that in somewhat way she still had to follow her own writing for Oblivion, because Oblivion would have died, meaning all the Oblivion stuff we did would have been null and void because of Hercules being alive. I know Hercules only being alive doesn't make that a factor, but unfortunately Hercules being Hercules is still like, oh, he had to do all this other stuff. And unfortunately, Hercules wouldn't have survived this no story game. Because I could say otherwise to Ryuki and Ryuko, because in my story I've written them to actually get enveloped in a time storm, which is why they ended up where they ended up. Because here's the one thing, I can't say Ryuki and Ryuko were frozen in ice. Because that wouldn't have made sense, no matter how much I ripped it. That ice would have been gone since a while ago. Just having it now unfreeze in 2000, whatever, it's like saying that ice was literally invincible. And why is it unfreezing now? Even though there was a bunch of people working on the ice. So instead,
I said after the Savvy incident, that's when you got freed, when Savvy basically destroyed it.
Yeah, I'm not talking about Hercules, I'm talking about Ryuko and Ryuki. Ryuko and Ryuki, they're written to be hit by a time storm, and where they got sucked into Earth at its proper time that they got sucked into. And then they were found. Because time storms are an anomaly. Time storms are an anomaly. Ah, my God.
Anomaly.
Anomaly, thank you.
A supernatural anomaly.
Yeah, time storms are an anomaly, so that can work. But with ice, it doesn't hold the same beneficial factor. Number one, Hercules is not immortal, so he would die from being frozen in ice. Like any other regular human, even if he is a den. And and even more, Hercules again, the whole ice scenario, where a human can be frozen in a block of ice for that long. It is too BS, basically. Because why wouldn't he have unfrozen any other time? There have been multiple disasters on Earth to where Hercules could have escaped. Like, even if Savvy didn't destroy Antarctica, he still would have made it out somehow. There's been hurricanes, global warming, lava, volcanoes underwater, other stuff like that, and that ice didn't break until Savvy just pops in and runs his head. Even Ryuko and Ryuki finding him, not Ryuko, sorry. Even Ryuki and Solaris finding him would have been kind of iffy out of anybody finding him. Yes, they're gods, but they don't have a connection. Unless they're written to have a connection. In which is understandable, but still to be the first ones to find Hercules and explain, no, not even explain, just know who he is. Like, I understand Hercules does have proper English, because, I don't know about that. I mean, they would be either Greek or whatever. Basically, Ryuko and Ryuki would understand. That's what I'm trying to say. So they would understand, and Ryuki and Ryuko and Hercules can have a proper conversation, obviously. But it's still like, maybe I should help this guy to the next town. Who are you? Oh, I'm Hercules. Like, it's not like, oh, you're Hercules? Oh my God, you're the Greek god? No. You're gonna think to yourself for a moment, oh, his name is Hercules, I should still help him out, and whatever. Because it's not like Hercules would just give you a whole bio about himself in that time of introducing who he was. Because, unfortunately, yes, he would know the information, but he still would not, I could be named Hercules, Brandon, and, not be him. So it's like the whatever, that factor, and it's still like they just happen to scavenge a random forest. Hercules happened to find land somewhere throughout swimming all across Antarctica without freezing to death. And you gotta remember here, Reeks did not have clothes. Hercules would have been almost naked in a freezing pile of water, surrounded by fish, sharks, and whatever else is in the deep sea. And he manages to survive all of that. So that's also a question. And just where he pops up is also a question. And I'm pretty sure the closest continent to Antarctica has to be...
Don't you ever not tell me things I want to know. Sorry, Trevor. Run, you little bastard.
Closest continent to
Going to Los Santos.
TJ, stay up there.
Not you, Ian Wade. What about me? You're CEO of Trevor Phillips Enterprises. Find us some business so we can make some money.
Yeah, I'm talking
Tidy my
about you.
shit up. Let's go. Wait, come on.
No, stay up there.
I'm driving. You jerked me off if I get
I feel
bored.
bad. She's trying to get off the thing. It would be South America, I believe.
We gonna stop for ice cream? So we're headed to Los Santos then? Soon. I gotta make a
So yeah,
Oh, what's it called?
your characters will have to live in South America to basically even have an opportunity to meet him. And your characters live in New York. So that means Hercules would have had to travel through a bunch of different terms, eating in the forest, finding towns and stealing people's food or partaking in people's food or whatever the case may be. Or whatever like anything possible. He would have had to gone through the customs of this world now, which just some person saying, oh, I'll fetch you some meat. Because, I mean, you already have meat. I only give you meat. People are assholes. Seeing Hercules, they're just going to be like, oh, look at that loser. And unfortunately, unlike Creeper's Dakota, Hercules would be made fun of in this timeline because of how he dresses. And because of how dirty he is. Hercules would not have had a change in clothes or whatever for a while. If anything, a random home takes Hercules in South America. But the main problem is not being whatever, it's making its way to North America from South America. That is a huge distance, walking distance. Ryuki cannot just see Hercules on the ground from his ship. Unless, even if Ryuki flies low, Hercules could have honestly just been a pedestrian walking through the forest. Like any other person when they're on a forest hike. Even more, there needs to be a reason for Ryuki to go to South America. So finding Hercules would have been nearly close to impossible. Just alone.
Just forget about it, man. There's no way. There's no way for him to be in the story because, like you said, Creeper killed all the gods. So wouldn't be the same. It wouldn't have his motivation or whatever. And it wouldn't be the same Hercules.
I'm sorry, Brandon. Really, Hercules probably cannot come in the story, even with like as much possible changes as whatever. Unless Creeper chooses to change her story about Oblivion, then he could possibly make it in. But it's still the factors of how would you find Hercules in a logical determining.
Just don't even worry about it. I'll just think of something else.
I could give Ryuki and Solaris a mansion. Come on, dude.
They have more than enough money to get a mansion.
Yeah, they have more than enough money, but it's just them. It's not like they have like their whole entire blood family in their house. It's them and 2 kids.
Their
dog.
kids don't live with
Cat.
them.
So it's just them. They can do with a 2. They can do with a 2-bedroom. I mean, my God. Okay. They can do with a 2-bedroom apartment or 2-bedroom house. They don't need a full-on mansion. Like,
I want them to have a good life, like live the good life.
Brandon, they can live a good life without a mansion, though.
You know what good life I'm talking about.
Yeah, and that's stupid, though. Ryuki doesn't seem like that kind of guy to just buy a mansion just for the fuck of it.
He wants to live
Ryuki's
somewhere we can relax and be
The
cool.
mansion is not. Unfortunately, Brandon, the mansion is not somewhere where you can actually relax. There's actually a bunch of stuff that you have to do for a mansion. I've had a mansion. Well, me and my mom lived in a mansion. And let me just say, I could have all the money in the world, but it sucks, Brandon. Trust me. Because number one, you gotta clean that whole entire thing from top to bottom. Or buy a maid to do it. Number two,
Buy a maid?
bills. I mean buy a maid. A full-on maid. Number two, you just depending on where you live, that mansion is, you can be lean, you can be like roasted and like there's like a bunch of shit.
You think too much about too many things.
No, I don't think. I know. I've been.
You think
mansion.
too much.
And either way, a mansion for just the 2 of them, that's too much, dude. I know Ken lives in a large house, but that's because Ken doesn't live alone, as we know. If anything, Ken does need a mansion, but he chooses not to because, number one, that's a house built by everyone together. That is their home. Through batteries and everything else that they work together to put together. But Ryuki is just buying a mansion just for him and Solaris. Not a house, not like a home that they can just die in alone. Not something, anything.
Can't
Just a full-on mansion
really
to-
die unless it's dying naturally.
True. Forgot about that. But still, like, just they can be happy in a smaller home, Brandon. I'm not saying like get like a 1-story house. I'm not saying like get a 2-story. You can have something big, just not a mansion-sized house. For 2 people, it's too spacious, and it just beats the point. It's literally saying that Ryuki would just be a rich douchebag.
Just because he
Even though
lives in the
he's not a
mansion.
rich douchebag.
Right.
Actually, that's how people portray those characters, man. You don't believe me? Look on the internet. Trust me.
Well, Ryuki doesn't really care what people think of him, so
And just don't give him a mansion. Just trust me on this one.
whatever.
Just trust me, Brandon. You can understand it yourself if you look at the picture.
Oh my god.
Brandon, like, for yourself, if you become rich,
This
Are
is
you-
a fictional story. You
I
think
know.
too much about everything.
but they're still
Like
but
Jesus
they're
Christ,
still-
it's fiction, not real.
But Brandon, they're still non-fictional lives. Poverty, everything else, those are still non-fiction. Like Brandon, if you become rich, are you literally gonna buy a mansion?
Don't give me a nice house that's close to it.
Why though?
I always look forward to having a really nice house. Somewhere not too close to the city, but not too far. Have a nice pool, a nice site. Just relax and enjoy the view.
Yeah. And there's plenty of other houses than a mansion that will give you that. You can't even buy a log cabin with a pool. Or make a pool. Because you need to design, since you're not anywhere in the city. But still, you can have a nice log cabin and still have the same thing. Now the supercomputer, I'm not gonna get on you about that. That is your choice. The mansion? No.
But if my name was Tony Stark or T'Challa, it'll be alright.
Tony Stark's a douche.
T'Challa not.
T'Challa's not. But you know how many people live in the Black Panther's home? A lot. He actually has a reason to buy one. Even more, T'Challa has a bunch of stuff in his crap, so his thing is heavily being used, even if it's not being used. But Tony Stark, he is a douche, so he would do that. Even Pepper thought that that was too much room for one person. Plus, as we know, Tony Stark doesn't just use that mansion for just himself. Iron Man suits, all the other stuff.
Oh, I wonder who has a bunch of weapons and a bunch of suits.
Oh, I wonder who's not a douche.
But still,
Yeah.
has a bunch of weapons, a bunch of technology, and a bunch of other stuff he uses.
Also, Brandon, one more thing. Ryuki can hide his stuff anywhere he feels like. Because he has a dimension to hide his stuff. Tony Stark does not, actually. So he literally has to put that crap away. I think he blew up his mansion on one point because he got tired of it. Just don't give him a mansion. Ryuki's not that kind of a guy to be a douchebag, right?
There's other characters who have mansions, but they're not douches. A mansion doesn't make a person a douche. Like, what the heck?
Buying it alone for you and your wife does. The only people that buy mansions are people that are actually doing something dumb, or just trying to stay away from everything completely. And
I wonder what they're trying to do.
Brandon, I mean everything, including their kids, including their own lives. They're trying to die, basically. They're trying to die without any other purpose. They're not trying to get a job. They're not trying to whatever. They are trying to just pass their lives for the future. But Ryuki has a family. He has a wife. He has 2 kids.
They're adults now.
Okay, adults. They're still his kids. Anyway. He probably has a dog walking around. Or, cute. dog. Anyway. So, he probably has a cute dog walking around. Ryuki, again, Brandon, it's just makes better sense. Ryuki's not a douchebag, he's not a dickhole with his money. He loves his wife. And neither are you, Brandon. You don't need a big house just to prove who you are. Maybe buying it just to buy it, but then... honestly,
buy it to live in it. The heck?
Yeah, but you're still buying it to buy it. You have enough money to buy whatever house, and you choose to buy a mansion out of everything. Honestly, dude, that's not you. I know you grew up with a uncomfortable living arrangement due to you and your sisters.
And cousins and uncles at one point, because we all stayed in the same freaking apartment.
And that's one of the main cases. The uncomfortability of not being in a household that fits. And if you buy a mansion for your family, it makes sense because they can all have their own rooms. They can fit their kids, their husbands, whatever. Like, it will work for your family because that's the purpose of a mansion. It's not to just hold you. It's to hold everyone that's close to you. If you and Team Mamba lived in that mansion together, it would be a better story. You can actually say that Team Mamba went to that mansion and it was their headquarters. And that would be a better story than just saying Ryuki bought a mansion for him and Solaris. And his kids. Because I'm pretty sure Ryuki let his kids live there. And if he didn't, that is a douchebag thing, Brendan. Number 2, you like to think big, Brendan. But here's the thing, you gotta think small, dude. Like, Ironicus for me, if Ironicus makes me big, and I mean makes me huge, I'm still gonna think me. I'm not gonna fall into lust of money. I'm not gonna use my money to get jetpacks. I'm not gonna use my money to take over whatever.
He doesn't need money to get that stuff. He can make it himself.
Take over whatever. Dick. Anyway. I'm not gonna use money for anything but to pay my bills and buy stuff. And not big stuff, but still buy stuff. If I have a kid, all that money goes into him. Because I want my kid to have a good life. My life is not as important as my kids. As my wife, too. And me buying a mansion, that's not how I'm gonna start it off. I'm gonna start off in a small house. And I'm definitely gonna probably stay in a small house. If the room becomes clutter, I will buy a bigger house. If I'm a superpowered person like Ryuki, I would have a room for my trophies and achievements, a room for, well, not even a room, a basement, or a securely locked area for my weapons and whatever. And I wouldn't even do that. That's just a waste of money. I literally have a portal. I mean, not a portal. I literally have a dimension to myself.
And he doesn't really have to. He doesn't really have to buy or have something like that. He can just make it.
I mean, he still needs the material, Brandon. Come on.
But he can still like make it himself instead of just paying for it.
He needs to pay for materials. Anyway, still needs to pay for materials like decorations and stuff like that. In all sense, Ryuki would need one private room to himself. Whether it be big or small, just one private room. 2, if he feels like using that supercomputer still. But Solaris, she would need 1 room, your kids, 1 or 2 rooms, depending on how you feel, or a bunk bed, depending on how you feel. A living room for all of you to just be happy together. And then that's it. Like, why the extra rooms? Actually explain, why the extra rooms in a mansion, Brendan? Also,
Honestly,
you can have a pool because, you know, pools are... You can have a pool anywhere, I don't care.
Trevor?
Sorry.
Michael. Hey. Good to
But,
see you.
what were you saying, Brendan?
Yeah, I bet it is.
I was gonna say he can use most of those rooms, like you said before. 2 can go to his kids. Other rooms can be for the guests or team up when they visit or whatever. And the other rooms will basically be occupied full of equipment, research, and other things Ryuki picked up on all of his adventures and other things. And also leftover material for him to use that's locked away.
But again, that's just wasting a room for all of his stuff. Because again, that portal to another area that you only have in your arsenal. In fact, that's actually a waste of your powers as well, because technically, it's like saying if you're out of your room, if you're out of your house and you put all of your equipment in that room, you can't get it because it's not a part of your dimension. That's literally in your house, and you're far from your house. So you being in another dimension, and Natalie saying all your weapons got broken because you accidentally said you use all of your weapons in your arsenal when you didn't mean to. You can't grab those extra suits, you can't, whatever. You're actually
They're not
hurting
just
your
out in the
friend.
open, they're locked away. You can't access any of them without his.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they're in a different, they're in our realm of existence, while Ryuki has in his powers a different realm for popping in, popping out items.
She's a horrible dancer. She might disagree with you.
So unless Ryuki can teleport, if he wanted a fire suit and his fire suit's in the locks in his house, that is his ass.
You don't think he can't get to his suit with the lock he made?
No, I mean, alright, Brandon, say that you were on Mercury, and say that all your stuff was on Earth. Yuki cannot cannot use his powers to get his stuff from Earth. Because it's not a part of his dimension.
Dude, Mike,
You get me?
what were you doing?
Mm.
I was making myself a juice.
So that means anything that you put on a table
Recipe I got.
in your house
Nutrients,
and you need it,
and
you
don't
can't
taste
have it.
bad.
Because
Anyway, get this.
it's not
I'm making
in your
blender
weaponry.
split. Juice goes
And even more, think about how much
in.
time
Fill it up
Ryuki would
whatever
have to
in this
waste
bag
to
is
put
red. Big
whatever he
fucking
needs,
bag.
or whatever
Right?
he
Okay,
thinks he
just
needs,
that moment,
in and
the
out
man
of his
comes in.
portal to
Tease me
his
that way.
weapons.
Didn't ask for a blow-by-blow of how you lie.
Ryuki's smarter than that.
Ounce of masculine
He wouldn't even
pride.
try to mess
I
with
wanted
it.
to know what you've been doing for
If anything, he'll put his failures, and then that's it.
me. Hey, if anyone needs kale, my friend, I'm beyond kale. Okay?
But then his failures remind him of his dead kid, so...
Have any effect on me?
Please stop bringing up my characters that are dead or have been killed off or blown to bits.
An incest kind of
But Brandon, that's true. Ryuki would look at his failures and think of his dead kid. Because that's normal life. Ryuki couldn't stop Rinko from letting what's-her-name kill your son. And to Ryuki, anytime he physically uses his powers or whatever, I'm pretty sure that comes back to hurt him. Because Ryuki just couldn't... couldn't help. Couldn't use what he was given to help his son, his wife, before.
Oh yeah, and I had much bigger plans with all of my characters, and wanted to have at least 5 kids, but no, that got taken away because now Slurrers can even have any more kids. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome. I'm sorry.
That's not a real thank you, you douche.
Anyway, don't shoot me.
Shoot him in the face.
So, anyway, so as I was saying, how could you, Brandon? Why would you try to shoot me of all people? I'm so lovable.
Oh, I wonder who let it happen.
Now, in my defense, you should have thought Ryuko was dead. I don't understand why you would think otherwise. So that was your fault, not mine. Anyway. As I was saying though, there's just a lot on Ryuki's mind. And you made Ryuki to be a smart character. A smart character would use his money right, and especially would do more for anything else than himself. As I said, Brandon, there's one perfectly good way of saying that you can get out of this. Make it Team Mamba's mention that Ryuki bought as a home base. And then nobody can say anything because it is Team Mamba's base. There's rooms for everybody. There's labs, equipment, and everything else. You have the perfect reason of buying a mansion. You get me?
Mm-hmm.
And then I can't come at you, Natalie and Jackson can't come at you. And one more thing, when Natalie and Jackson don't help out, it gets to me. Because they are focusing on one thing here. They're not helping me become a better, you know. Like, I don't know if you're planning on doing writing in the future, Brandon, but Natalie and Jackson aren't helping by not saying anything. Full criticism is what gets you further. When people don't criticize your stuff, you're not getting the full-on thing. You're not getting better, you're only getting whatever your family or your friends think that you're doing. To get full criticism is to be a human and move further. Me coming at you for your strawberry perfume? Yeah. 13-year-old ass.
Anyways.
That's criticism. And you will never do it again because if you do,
anyways.
Yeah. So they need to learn how to start criticizing you for certain things. I'm not gonna lie here, Brandon. I'm slowly getting tired of the Marvel conversations. Just like the Dragon Ball conversation. But I know if I come at that, Natalie and Jackson will shoot me. But it does get tiring having to talk about Marvel. Marvel again. Marvel again. Marvel again.
What's the hottest studio in the world right now? Oh wait, Marvel. So of course they're going to be talking about that.
Yeah, but we can have other conversations. Hell, we can play a video game, but we don't. Jackson plays Devil May Cry all day, every day.
We don't really have the same video games anymore.
I know. When Jackson gets Mortal Kombat all day, every day.
Let's not try to kill this brick, alright? When we crush this little toy car, who knows?
Honestly, I'm gonna have Mortal Kombat 11 as well, so at least me and him will have that.
No, I'm not saying...
As
you
well as
can't have the
Combo.
game. Look, here's the thing. I'm not saying that you can't have the game. I'm not saying otherwise or anything like that.
Can we
I
speed it up
mean...
a little? Huh? Maybe by throwing your fat carcass over the side.
Brandon, how many games me, Jackson, Natalie, or you have that we could play together? We have a lot. But Jackson doesn't take the opportunity to try to swap out, try to game with his friends.
Honestly, he's probably a solo gamer. Just let him do that.
I know. Don't get me wrong. I know. I know there can be solo gamers and stuff like that, obviously. But what's the point of getting online just to talk to whoever people? If you're a solo gamer, you're wasting money.
But we're sure taking our time about it.
Honestly, I used to be a solo gamer myself, and the only time I'll play online with other people is when I just do like PvPs or like PvEs, and that's it.
Yeah, that's
The only
how I
person that got me like into online, actual online play was Kaiju and some of my other old online friends, as well as Silver,
it's fun.
because they were my very first people I played online with.
But Brandon, most of the reason behind it, because it's fun. It's a fun experience to just have fun with your friends.
Hey, take a left up.
Half of the reason we don't play half of our games anymore is because
Let's not try to kill
you don't have anybody to play it with. The moment you have somebody else to play WWE 2K, or whatever you've been playing, do you know how much fun you'll have, Brandon?
Can we speed it up a little?
A lot more than I've been having.
Throwing your fat carcass over the
Definitely. You'll finally have somebody to play with, finally have somebody to do something with.
I thought I had that with Combo, but he just deleted it after our like first set. I'm like, dude, like, why would you just waste it like that then? Because I got you all these mods, all this cool stuff, you're not even gonna use it? Like, come on now.
Exactly. Also, Brandon, if you get Mortal Kombat Digital, can I game share with you?
Yeah.
Thanks, buddy.
We'll get him. We'll get him.
Like, to be honest, Mortal Kombat to me... no.
Honestly, unless you know the whole series, you can't really. Yeah.
It's not that. Even if I knew the series, I just do it in my Mortal Kombat. It's not a game for me, basically.
I hate him even more in person. He was never funny.
Mortal Kombat just doesn't interest me.
Well, everybody has their different things.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not even gonna judge it.
I honestly know the whole story and the full story of Mortal Kombat, which is why I like it so much. And I've basically seen all the live actions about it. So
Research the full story. I won't be that same as watching it. Well, I mean, what I was gonna use was YouTube, so I would be watching the full story, I guess. But anyway, you know what I'm trying to say here. Just when I would know the full story, but enemy. I wouldn't be as good as Mortal Kombat. I would need to take time to get better at Mortal Kombat. So obviously, I would need to train every day. But to me, it's still a factor of it's not my game. I can't work with Mortal Kombat. I can play the game, but it will not be something I'm interested in.
Alright, now drop it like it's hot, alright? I want to see you get nice and low. Come on, lower, lower, come on. Oh, please don't kill me, okay? I'm supposed to be on a magazine cover next week. Alright, come on, get up.
But in a case like that, it would still be fun to play with you rather than play alone. If you guys want to play Mortal Kombat all together, then even though I don't like it, I'll still play it with you because I get to bond with my friends. The only thing I want.
Dave, we need to talk. I was about to tell
Just
you
sitting
the
by
same.
idly and doing nothing but talk because whatever, it's boring. We talk about Marvel, we talk about DC every day, talk about Transformers, talk about Dragon Ball. Well, Dragon Ball is gone, but we still talk about it every day.
I don't really talk about much, honestly.
Yeah. Like, I miss the days where we would play games together, like Monster Hunter. My dog is trying to eat my finger.
Cause I've just been trying to live life. Cause hate to say it, I am getting older, and I can't just be doing the same thing every day. So
I know, that's the point. We're getting older. And definitely can't be doing the same thing every day. Natalie and Jackson don't understand it until they become adults. But Jackson's a child still and won't accept his adulthood. Natalie, however, would accept her adulthood because she's unfortunately smart enough not to, you know,
yeah.
keeps us fighting me. I keep pushing her over, and she's trying to bite my fingers because I keep pushing her over. But anyway, like, we're growing up. Talking about the same thing over and over again is not gonna stick with us. I'm not bored of Marvel. I'm not bored of Dragon Ball.
I'm bored of DC
I am-
instead of the comics. I'm good with the comics. The movies I'm bored with.
It's not even that. It's that, like, okay, the DC movies suck, but still, like, if you talk about the same thing every day, every time, every night, and especially things that we already talked about all the time, every time,
It gets boring.
yeah. Like, if we have a conversation about Marvel today, have a talk about Dragon Ball tomorrow, have a talk about DC the next day, talk about whatever, play a game on Friday or whatever, at least we're not doing the same thing over and over again. There's a limit. So by the time of next week, we can talk about Marvel again and have whatever, a bash about it. But this movie coming out, I'm hyped for the movie, but you're gonna kill my hype by continuously talking about it. Especially talking about, oh, theories on this, theories on this.
Well, it's kind of hard not to, because there's like people theorizing about Endgame everywhere.
I know, don't get me wrong, I know. But just let the movie come out. I mean, we can talk about, like, I'm hype. Maybe the Infinity Sword, maybe. And so,
Infinity Sword? What the heck?
Jackson said that. Maybe Iron Man will die. Maybe Cap will die. I'm hyped to see those possibilities.
The way it's looking, he is on his last contract.
Yeah. I'm happy to see those possibilities, but I'm not happy to keep hearing it over and over again until the movie comes out. And be it May, you're 16-year-old or whatever, it's me being an
Daddy's
adult.
home.
And that's what I'm thinking I might have to start doing. I might need to start being an adult. Because if I don't, then my friendship with you guys will not last any longer than what it will.
That's why I've been focusing more so on life recently and starting to get my music off the ground. And good
Yeah,
thing
I
I'm off work tomorrow because I'm going to be doing that for most of the day.
Brandon, give me a lot of money. We're friends.
Once I get myself together, I think about it.
Better give me money. Been your friend since the beginning, boy.
No, you haven't. There's been people who've been my friends since before you. So
Because I'm black. And white.
my friends have been black, white, Asian, Caucasian,
Brandon, I'm one of a
Latino,
kind.
Italian, Russian. I got friends from all over the place.
I don't care. I'm one of a kind.
You were something.
Wow, something. Okay. Hi, Brandon.
Yeah, you're most definitely unique.
Thank you. Anyway, joking around aside. Yeah.
And
You know-
as you can see, and what you have said, my passion is not writing stories. My passion is music. I just do this to have fun and pass by the time I hang out with you guys. But honestly,
Yes.
lately, this whole role-playing thing, I still like it, and it's still whatever, but the way things have been going, which is partially the reason I fell asleep the other day, is that it's basically it's more of the Jackson and Natalie show, and sometimes Drake Neil, and I'm
Yeah.
just left powerless, not able to do jack against anything. So
And Brandon, that's what I gotta say. You gotta tell Natalie Jackson and Daniel this. Being nice is okay, but you need to sometimes. You need to sometimes pull that card and
Hate to do this.
speak your mind, dude.
I honestly
If you don't,
stopped
think-
caring and don't really care anymore.
that's the point. You gotta care. Because you're only one who can fix your life. I told Natalie and Jackson that you wanted some change. You
I
wanted
don't.
things to be somewhat different so you can have some wins, be important in your own method. Like, I told Jackson and Natalie, they can't just keep putting you down because they're not letting you get any spotlight.
And I can't really develop if I can't really do anything.
Exactly. And Natalie gave a fair point that she can't just hand you the wins. But I also told her, you gotta let Brandon develop in his way to get better. Yes, you can't give him the win. I don't want Brandon to receive an easy pass. But I also want Brandon to actually matter like the rest of us. Brandon seems to be the only one taking a sore L here. I killed my characters off at points in time. You have Jackson has killed his characters
Hey,
off,
Grace,
but
what's up?
What's up? Are you
with
joking?
Jackson,
You
he's
ruined
been
my
doing it
life.
his way.
I did? I
whatever way I go, it's how I want the story to to necessarily go. Like if I have Ken die, I don't want Ken to just die by, oh, let me do this Nazi, let me do, no, what? I want Ken to die by something that would actually mean everything, rather than just having some bull crap like, oh, Oblivion shoots Ken in the heart. What? Oh, what? Ken wouldn't die like that. Brandon, you lost a full planet. A full planet, a full work of ideas and everything. And yes, it may have been me. But also, it was because of your writing.
Once again, I had a whole entire storyline and a whole bunch of stuff planned that y'all didn't even let me do. That I had planned out, written out, I even had certain things like planned out. I had everything planned out for Planet Valhalla, but couldn't even do it because the more that I introduced it, you destroyed it. So I just got rid of everything for that because I was gonna make that my own little thing, but that got stripped away.
I'm not gonna lie here, Brandon. Personally, with me, I did have a problem with Planet Valhalla from the beginning, but again, I mean, I roleplay, especially when it comes to my story. I don't hold grudges. It is never a thing to me to hold a grudge and take somebody else's story to ruin somebody else's story. Because that's just BS. However, Planet Valhalla, Oblivion, and especially what you were doing,
you don't even know the story I was trying to do because it didn't even start.
Well, it's not that I didn't know the story. It's that what you told us was the kill points of Valhalla.
So I just never should have told you in the beginning about, okay.
No, it's not that. Basically, what I'm trying to say, Brandon, is if you would have hidden, or if you would have had King Zargoth be the king of Valhalla, which he was, but not make any, I mean, make some alliances, but not like have many alliances. That would be one thing gone from the kill list. Number two, those crystals that would defend the planet. To basically, you know what I mean, like the crystals to basically make it to where nobody could enter or escape the planet. And it only works for Valhallas or whatever. Now, as much as I hate to say it, that was also kill count, you holding those crystals too much. If you would have just gave those to Oblivion, there would have actually been no need to attack Valhalla further. And if that elite would have attacked Valhalla further, that would have been unfortunate. But, as I said, those crystals, everybody would have wanted those crystals. And if it definitely wasn't Oblivion, it would have been the Ellipse to go after those crystals, as Creeper would have written it. And I'm not saying no, Creeper would have written it to be like that just for the crystals, no. It would have been her writing it because it would have made sense for them to go after it. Those sources, I mean, those crystals would have been a source to enhance the, what's the name? The Ellipse battle forces and everything else like that. You get me?
Mm-hmm.
So why would they not aim to get that power source from Valhyria.
Definitely not your guy.
Okay.
And unfortunately,
The
in this
agency has the
matter,
lower floors on lockdown to prevent a leak.
if Oblivion, I mean, if the Ellipse would have attempted to get those crystals, none of your people would have survived from Creeper's Night. Because Creeper would have made sure that that planet would have been an example, as he did with Planet Sage, which he didn't even need to do. I actually saw no reason Planet Sage needed to die. But I knew that Creeper was going to put up a fight, and Jackson, Dragneel, her would have all been on one side, and me would have been on the other, and nobody would have taken our whatever, but...
Cause I'm always the one that takes the fall. That's why I stopped caring and stopped making crap. Cause I know I'm just gonna get bit in the butt anyway by somebody.
And see, like, that's what I mean. Like, Brandon, I'm never against you, but I'm also never with you. My heart is to be swayed by what I feel is right. I don't... Ironicus is a mixture of a lot of things. Not just my mindset alone, but a bunch of stuff. From different animes, there are different lessons to be included in Ironicus.
And I guess man is to just sit back and suffer.
No, it's not. As I said, Brandon.
It's been feeling that way.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You need to come at Creeper and Jackson, dude. And come at me if you feel like it, but
I ain't got time for all that.
that's the point.
And honestly, this is going to end up being one big argument. And you already know Jackson gonna side with Natalie, and so is Dragneel,
Yeah,
and then they're gonna all end up turning into one big stupid argument, and just I ain't got time for all that. I'm a grown man. I ain't got time for that crap. Especially when it's about a bunch of fictional stuff. I ain't got time for.
Brandon, if you're not gonna defend yourself, then why should we care?
The way it seems, they don't really care either.
I care, Brandon. But, again, I can't speak for you. When Natalie and Jackson hear that you want to do something really important to you from your mouth, then, you know, they'll listen if you have the right approach to it. Like, Brandon, the whole Hercules subject, in all of our minds, and I knew all of our minds, that was like a huge wondering WTF. We may have, like, Jackson and Natalie may have accepted it, but they didn't. Natalie had a plan with that. So in her
Kill
mind, she thought it
Hercules.
was okay. No. Anyway, she wanted to do a descendant thing, where Ares descendants, Oblivion was there, Hercules from Zeus's descendant. Like, she wanted to make a whatever war between the gods or their descendants or whatever. So Natalie had a plan to do something. Jackson was just accepting it because he was like, whatever. As I said, criticism. Dragneel and me both would have came at you because it didn't make sense at all. And we're not doing that because we're an asshole. We're doing it because, again, a great story isn't just I make a character and then it's just it. Role playing for fun is for fun, and not affecting the story of whatever. It's whatever. But logical demeanor is still logical demeanor. I even came at Natalie for that one character because I needed to, and she also agreed that whatever. But Brandon, if it's for like making a character, Brandon, I admit you still have a lot of work for making a character. It's the only thing that really kills them is the powers that they have, and then that's it. Everything else is okay. But like, other than the powers, when you make a character, there's nothing really bad about it. If Creeper says that they can't work because there's no Atlantis, you can say otherwise. Because, I mean, it's whatever year it is, so there could be a whole bunch of big creatures that Atlantis had to offer in another area. Who knows? Like, if you make another planet again, and Brandon, and if you try to make another planet, at least let me help so it doesn't just become a straight up target.
I don't even know how Planet Sage became a target at all.
Because apparently to Natalie and Jackson, basically that planet had no... I don't even know how that planet became a target. I really don't, man. I think Natalie just did it to make... Natalie just did it to make an example out of a planet. I don't even understand why they... Brandon, I'm not even trying to lie to you. I don't know why it would be just Planet Sage, but it happened to be Planet Sage, and it's whatever.
Hey, we need to talk. Quick.
But Brandon, honestly, you want to make a planet together, and I mean a planet together, one of where I would not let Natalie or Jackson have. You know?
Screw it. Let's do it. I ain't got nothing else better to do.
Alright. So,
The hell was that?
like, what type
You know
of
how many
planet
spooks I
would you
just
want?
ran into?
I'm sorry. They're not nice people if that's a consolation.
What's going on?
There's a big
Like, what
target
makes
out
that
there.
planet?
Something
It's
in the
planet.
shadows. The
That's what I
data
meant.
algorithms are reading off the charts. Whoever finds it, the Bureau or the agency...
Hold on, just give me a second to think, alright?
Like I care
I got
about
you. I just need the time to think. My brain is starting to hurt just thinking about this stuff.
Will be downtown
Like, here's the
in
thing.
plaza between
Don't
the
make it too
FIB
peaceful,
the
and don't make it too
IAA
war.
buildings.
Have it in the mid, have it like a balance. Or have it mostly be peaceful, but there's still war.
Don't be looking there. They never expect an inside job.
Like I said, don't give a natural life to anything. There's always conflict in life. And without conflict, they're more or less just simple whatever.
Man, I ain't exactly got nowhere to go. We're gonna take a trip. A long trip. What the fuck is going on? Things, alright? Beds. You looked after me when I retired. You did? Yeah, I did. I mean, I think I did. I don't know. Shit. Jesus Christ, Franklin. I got so many stories I can't even keep them straight. I'm full of shit. Yeah, but your full of shit got me a lot of paper. One score with you, I made more money than I ever did hustling. Yeah, I mean, I'm a great thief. You know, it's the other shit that I ain't got figured out. So what's the deal, man? What's the deal with the Bureau? This clown. I mean, he's an okay guy. Cop
sucker. We did a deal a long time ago. Didn't go quite the way it was supposed to go. Wrong guy got killed. So I had to go into kind of an informal witness protection program. He helped me. I didn't reveal the secrets of his. Everything was cool. Problem started when recently I became unretired. I mean, he shows up, starts calling in favors, telling me to do shit. I mean, look, Franklin, I'm working for the fucking feds.
Fuck, man.
Oh, fuck man, yeah, that ain't even the worst part. I ever tell you about Trevor?
Man, I think so. Shit.
Well, if you only think so, then I wasn't being completely honest. He's, hell walking on Earth. That's what he is.
Let's bury this motherfucker.
Oh, yeah, good luck with that.
Shit.
Trevor and I got history. Complicated fucking history. Look, I've done a lot of things that I ain't proud of. I never claimed to be an angel. But you meet Trevor Franklin, you'll swear I am an angel.
So what's the move then, man?
I don't know. I'm just gonna, try to play both sides. I thought you'd find a way out of this shit.
All right, man. Look, man, you help me. The way I see it, man, the least I can do is help you.
It's a death sentence, Franklin.
Man, I ain't trying to hear all that shit, man. If the Bureau ain't gonna take you to court, them motherfuckers just hustlers anyway. And I ain't finna let no motherfucking cat think he's so motherfucking crazy run me up a tree. Fuck that.
Hey, you're a good kid, Franklin. This means a lot to me. Like I told you, I'm a terrific thief. I'll find something for you. Big. Come on. You better take off.
All right, man. I'm with you.
All right. You wanna what?